What's going on, everybody? This video is definitely for my hosts, my Airbnb hosts out there, and also those who are aspiring or are investors. One of the cool things that we're going to do in this video is check out and take possession of a property that we recently just got hired to do management on. So my client bought this property. It's a duplex. He's renting it out via Airbnb. And the idea of this video is to go check it out, see it firsthand, and then see if there's any changes that we as hosts would be making and or keeping anything the same. And what I want to run through is kind of like the systems that my team and I go through to make sure that we have a very successful Airbnb business, both for ourselves and our clients, and how you can incorporate that if you're interested in doing Airbnb both in the future or your current property. So if that's something that you're interested in, then show some support to the channel by liking this video and clicking on that thumbs up button, and obviously subscribing to the channel, clicking that notification bell. But anyways, let's get started with the video. And if you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment down in the comment section below, and my team and I will be happy to help. And with that, let's get started. All right, guys, so we're arrived to the duplex. We've checked it out a little bit. So there's a couple things already off the bat that we're going to talk about, of some of the things that my team and I will definitely be doing to make sure we spruce the space up, but also get it ready for the best guest experience and ideally enhance the guest experience, which equals to 5 stars and equals more money, right? So the first thing I want to point out is the vegetation that we have on this side. This is one of the cool things that I like, although it should be manicured a little bit. So we're going to definitely work on that. Let's move on this way. As you can see, this driveway is kind of tight, and supposedly you should be able to park one car on each side. There's not really much we can do about that, but one of the things that we can do is the landscaping. The landscaping here is hideous, right? It's obviously been overgrown. It hasn't really been taken care of, so all this entire area we need to clean up. I'm also thinking about trying to add some sort of landscaping, but some mulch, some rocks, give it some vibrancy as opposed to just this green, because there's a lot of areas that are kind of dead, and it doesn't really lend itself to give you the best kind of feel, because one of the main things in an Airbnb is how it feels when you're walking up to the property. That obviously shows well in photos, but more importantly, it shows well while you're walking to the property, which is going to give you a much better experience. So moving in, one of the properties is ready to go and it's vacant. This is what I feel is the mainstay of the property, right? Why people are drawn to it on the photos has a lot to do with the exposed beams that you have in the kitchen and the living room. It brings a lot of character. There's a lot of wood. There's a lot of warmth. This island has a lot of great aspects to it for entertaining, for obviously hosting, for a lot of good things, especially if you're looking for an Airbnb and you're staying with family, you're probably going to be using this a lot. However, let's talk about the negatives. I'm not a huge fan of this wall here. I think that there should be kind of like an anchor wall. We should be able to paint it and bring this a little bit more vibrancy into the room, maybe a little bit more warmth into the room. Having it all white like this to some people is fine. I do think that having like an anchor wall or a wall that pops in one of the properties or in a room of the property is fundamental. Here in the kitchen, we need to fully stock it. There's some appliances, and that's one of the recommendations that I would say if you guys are trying to get into hosting. Have every amenity that you can think of in a kitchen, because people will likely use it. And even if they don't use it, it's better for them to have it and not need it than need to not have it. So that's kind of the idea here. Doesn't get a lot of natural light, so some of the light fixtures do a good job in kind of combating that. Can we improve some of these lighting fixtures? May not be a huge deal at the moment, but definitely something that we would consider if I was going to continue to rent this place. Some of the paint on the walls, you can kind of see blotches of it. So I would try to give this whole thing a whole new paint job. Let's step into one of the rooms. This room, to me, although it kind of does the job, gives you a bed, so new bedding. I mean, obviously that's a given, right? We have to definitely dress this up more, but it's kind of bland to me, So one of the things that I would definitely do is probably add some new night tables, some new tables next to the bed. I think that's gonna definitely bring it up more, and some lighting fixtures. I'm not a huge fan of these lighting fixtures, but small details like that. And then again, maybe paint one wall here and add some artwork and something that just pops. If you really wanted to take it to the next level, maybe change the curtains into another, maybe some sort of neutral color that adds a little bit more vibrancy and more character to the place. It just needs more character. It's just kind of bland. Going into the bathroom, if you've ever stayed at an Airbnb, you've probably noticed things like, signs on the bathrooms, don't flush things because of the septic tank. Like, there's obviously a lot of signs and instructions everywhere. That is an important key factor. It's trying to see how you can be as give as many instructions as possible, but not overwhelm your guests, because you definitely don't want to overwhelm your guests. But you do want to create a system which makes the check-in and check-out process even more seamless. So having a system of like, when you are putting all the beddings in one area of the property so that the cleaning crew can come in and put that into the laundry and get it ready for the next guest is super important. So having a system of collaboration between your guests and your cleaning crew, it not only makes the guest's life check-in, check-out experience easier because they understand what they need to do, but it also makes our life and the cleaning crew's life much easier because it gives us instructions on what we need to do. I think this room probably gets the most natural light out of all of them, so it's a shame that it's not really being used to its fullest potential. And as you can see, there just seems to be a lot of furniture pieces that don't really gel and blend with itself. So I would definitely change the artwork, maybe again paint, add some color, change the lighting fixtures, definitely remove these chairs. Small things like that, pillows, accent walls, accent pieces are really going to make the difference between the photos popping and making sure that that person wants to stay in your place and somebody who doesn't. So those are just a couple food for thought. So for the most part, that's pretty much, from a cosmetic standpoint, what you would be looking into. There's a lot of other nuances when it comes to just the structure, the systems that are really important for us. Systems, checking in and checking out process, and making that as smooth as possible for the guests so that we can offer an extended checkout if needed, and we can get it turned over in a much shorter amount of time. One of the ways that we do that, both to enhance the check-in process, but also for the cleaning crew and everybody else that needs to kind of gain access to the unit, whether that's your AC guy or whoever, is to change these lock systems. A lot of people have these Yale locks. I'm personally not a huge fan of these electric lock systems, so one of the main things that we're going to be doing is changing them to, I believe they're pronounced Schlange, I don't really know. But the cool thing that they offer is an app. It's able to integrate with Airbnb, and you're also able to automatically send those codes to them. Use one system that you're comfortable with using, and then have that one system embedded in all your properties. So because our other properties don't have this system, it's a little tedious to continue to change in and out of one app to another. All right, so suffice it to say, this place needs a lot of work. I'm happy that we're able to see it. We have a buffer time between our next guest who's checking in and this guest who just left. This patio balcony situation here, I also want to change. I'm not really too happy with it, but the idea here is to come in as a team and just really start looking at, like, you as a guest, what would you want to experience when you come into an Airbnb? And if you're going to charge premium prices, you're going to have to offer premium services, premium amenities, and at least a premium feel. So when we come into property, whether it's this property, there's some of the properties that I own or some of the properties that we take on for clients, it's always thinking about how can we enhance this experience. And some of the ways that you do that are by the things that I said. A lot of the things we haven't even gotten into, such as like the furniture pieces that I would be looking into, and really the back end on the Airbnb side as to how to even market properties so that you can get the highest, daily rental and your occupancy, how to increase that. There's a lot of those things. Did I mention this tent thing? Because it's hideous. So that's one of those things that we need to remove. So things like that, just coming into the property and making sure that you show love and take care of it, and then obviously make it your own, are some of the things that will make this 10 times more money and also make our life much easier, which at the end of the day is what we're trying to do. So all right, so I was going to end the video there and just do a series of progress videos of this property showing you the before and after once everything has been completed. However, we do have a guest checking in, like I mentioned, and we were able to make a lot of progress in 24 to 48 hours from the time that we receive the property to the time that the next guest checks in. So I'm pretty happy with it. It's not entirely where we need it to be or we want it to be, but we are satisfied with the condition, and we do feel confident enough that this is going to give us a very, very good experience for the guest, but also great ratings for us as business owners. We want to make sure that we maintain a very high rating on Airbnb. For those of you who are hosts, you know that this is primary. Basically, although it seems like we're in the real estate business, we're really more in the hospitality business because we have to provide an experience. With that being said, I'm going to show you some of the things that we did and some of the things that we still have yet to do, but some of the changes that I think will go a long way in making sure and enhancing the experience for the guests. So without further ado, let's check that out, and I'll show you a quick trip of how it was, where you guys saw how it was before. So now take a look at how it is now, and you guys be the judge. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, if we made progress or not. Keep in mind that there is still some things that we are going to finish doing in the future, probably right after this guest checks out, but nothing that will inhibit their experience. So with that said, let's get started. Okay, so the main piece here, the one that jumps out at you immediately once you walk walk in is the wall behind me. Now, if you remember, and I'm going to do some B-roll so you guys have a much better idea of how it looked before and how it looks now, so you have some footage of that. But the main thing was that this was a plain white. Not that there's anything wrong with white, but I do feel that having an anchor wall, an accent wall, really makes the space pop. It also warms up the space and just brings in a whole overall better experience, in my opinion. At least the analytics and the data has shown that with Airbnb, and how they prioritize some of these options in photos over other options. But that's neither here or there. Just based off of a subjective, maybe an objective point of view as well. You guys will be the judge when you walk in. I do feel that it is a better experience for having this wall painted. So take a look. This is one of the things that is pretty cost effective, because again, we haven't painted the entire place. One of the things that we will be doing soon, but a very cost effective way that you can enhance your own Airbnb is just having anchor walls in either one of the main rooms or in some of the bedrooms, which we'll be talking about in the future. But take a look at this. Some other cool things that we did that you probably will notice is that we moved a lot of the pieces around, right? So a lot of the lamp pieces, a lot of the floor lamps, and just stools and things of that nature, even pillows and things like that, were moved from certain rooms, were pulled out of storage to really give this place, I feel, like some personality and just enhance the experience. Again, the main thing that we're trying to do with this objective here on phase one is to enhance the guest experience. So when they walk in, they feel like it's a cozy area, but it's a light, airy area that just feels good and just is going to be great for their experience for the few days that they're going to be here. And then once we have a gap between guests, we can obviously focus on phase two, which is, probably going to be mainly painting the entire property, which we feel it definitely is in dire need of. And secondly, the accent walls are going to be another main thing that we do. One of the cool pieces that we started to do in the property was just add wall art. I think it's a very inexpensive way to making sure that your rooms pop, because a lot of these rooms were looking kind of bland. If you could remember, a lot of the walls didn't really have anything going on. So like, for example, in this room for one of the guest rooms, what we did was we moved one of the lamps to this room, which I think just adds a lot more character into the room. And then we added these mirrors, which with these leather straps, again, a lot more character and uniqueness. So these are minor things that you can do, or that we did, that I think makes the room a lot better and makes the property just really stand out. The other thing here is we had a lot of the rooms had desks with chairs. We felt like they were kind of not needed, if you will. So we disposed of the chairs, some of the desks as well. And what we started to do is just, again, focus on the walls, focus on, adding character, adding uniqueness to the room. So we added these two mirrors, which I think go a long way in bouncing light off and just making it a little bit more airy. And in the bathrooms, everyone got an overhaul with new towels. We got new bathroom pieces as well, shampoo dispensers, things like that you don't really, makeup towels. These are things that are going to just make our lives easier as hosts, but also the guest life easier. All the beds also had new bed sheets, new throw blankets. So these things, again, are uniform within the entire room. So it makes it easier for the cleaning staff to pick up and get it back to how it was. But also it just adds some uniformity to the property, which makes it, again, very clean and a clean aesthetic and unique. So these are just some points. I hope that this helps you. This is by no means the final progress of what we're expecting to do here, but this is phase one of the project, which we're pretty happy with. There's a lot more things that we need to kind of get done, but for the main part, we do feel confident that this is going to give the guests the best experience possible. And then moving forward on phase two and phase three, we'll give you guys updates with how we feel the new things that we're going to do will definitely take it to the next level. So if you're interested in seeing those progress pictures or those videos, then obviously subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment in the comment section below, and like this video. And with that, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope that I earned your trust enough to make you want to subscribe to the channel, as that would mean the world to me. If you're still watching and want to see more, then YouTube thinks you're going to be interested in this video, and I think you're going to be more interested in this. The choice is yours. Either way, I hope to see you around soon. Take care, and God bless.